up, everyone? Welcome to the Bench Podcast. My name is Joey, joined by my good buddy Terrell Thorogood. How you doing, bud?
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Terrell, good to have you here, man. Of course, Angel and Gabe are in Lambeau. If you're following us on any of the social media platforms, you saw they got to witness that incredible victory that was predicted by Gabe.
Yeah.
They're in Lambeau. They are partnered up right now. From what I remember them telling me, they're in a bar somewhere watching the Dodgers game.
Yep.
So,
that was the plan.
we'll see. Over that producer desk, AJ all by himself today. AJ, how you doing, man?
What up? I'm feeling good, man. It's a good day of football today.
It was such a good day of football.
A lot of questions answered. A lot of more questions brought up.
You know what I noticed today? That 10 o'clock hour was stacked, and that 1 o'clock hour was light.
3 games.
Yeah.
3 games to 1 o'clock hour.
You had the blowout of the Panthers-Commanders blowout, which is, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, the
Super
Rams
weird
and the
without-
Raiders.
Yeah.
Who was watching that?
We dropped the volume. Yeah, that was pretty bad to get blown out. We'll talk about that. That was, I think, a new low for the Panthers. But yeah, and then you had a great game going on, Niners-Chiefs. And what else was going on? There's one more.
Raiders and the Rams.
That was just those three. There's only 3 games.
That was it.
So basically just the Chiefs and Niners.
Just the Chiefs game was interesting.
Yeah, crazy. But that 10 o'clock hour was wild. 6:30 was about what we expected. All right, it was. Any you guys up for that?
I did not wake up.
I was up.
I caught the second half.
Yeah, we slept through that, and the fans overseas slept through that.
They might have. I was up. My in-laws were visiting, and so my house was packed. So there's nowhere for me to go to watch the game, and so I was just in bed, like on my phone, like come on, Trevor Lawrence. But anyway, Jags wrapping up their stint over there in England. They'll head back, and I don't know. We'll see what happens with Dougie P. Episode 173 of the Bench Podcast for Monday, October 21st, 2024. October's flying.
Yeah.
It is flying.
We're at Halloween next week.
It's almost Halloween time. And then November 5th, we know, is not only Election Day, but maybe more importantly, the trade deadline, which should be pretty fun. So I'm going to go to the ballot box thing and then not think about that probably the rest of the day.
Yep.
Just be looking at the trades. If you are watching us on YouTube, welcome to the channel.
Welcome.
There you go. Subscribe, turn on those notifications. Thanks for everyone who has joined us as we are almost at the halfway point of the season here. And season number 2, I guess is what you call it, for the Bench Podcast. I don't know. And then listen on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music for the audio version of the Bench Podcast.
Audio.
Like, subscribe, notifications, leave a review. That, of course, is brought to you by the Fans First Sports Network. And then check us out on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Follow the show between the shows. Search at Benched Show to follow us on all those. And like we said, today it was jam-packed full of on location at Lambeau Field. Gabriel and Angel there doing their thing. I was going to try to call them, but honestly.
I was just going to say, I thought we were doing that today, but they're not.
They're not. They have been. They're number one, they're on like no sleep.
Yeah.
And I know they've been drinking, so
We definitely need to get them on.
yeah. Angel, I could barely control him when he's sober. Like I don't want to call him when he's all drunk. Anyway, so safe travels to those guys. They come back. They'll be on the shows for the rest of the week. And then check out benchshow.com, home of the Bench Beat, articles on fandom, fantasy, and all things NFL. All right, boys, it's Monday, and on Monday, we get to the Benchies. All right, I'll get us started. The all I do is win, 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 no matter what Benchy goes to former President Donald Trump for posting this picture to his personal Instagram page in the middle of a presidential campaign. I love that in 2024, it is perfectly acceptable for a presidential candidate to do this on his personal page in the middle of a campaign. No problem.
We are fully in the digital age, and we're just learning more and more what that means.
I love it. Terrell, what you got?
Yeah, we are just, it's a walking meme.
Yeah, eat that mic, big dog.
Oh, yeah, can you hear me now?
Into
Very
the mic,
closer.
sweetie.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, talk to me. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
My benchy for the week is, it goes to, it's Oh My Goff. Our Jared Goff today, just going off 88% completion percentage, 22 for 25, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Look, just coming in clutch play after clutch play. He's easily the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Pulling the Lions through. They're the best team in that division, in my opinion, and probably the best team in that conference.
Is this the best we've seen of Goff so far?
Yeah.
It might be.
My
AJ?
dark horse MVP.
Yep.
Still, hold on to that. I've got he can't keep getting away with this award. And this goes to Patrick Mahomes. 16 completions for 150 yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 59% completion percentage, a passer rating of 44. At one point, it was 31 in the third quarter. He now has more interceptions than touchdowns on the season, but they're 6-0.
6-0.
6-0.
I don't understand. It doesn't math.
They're not fair.
It doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, they're the only undefeated left in the NFL, and all you can do is sit back and appreciate. My next one is the peak fandom experience, Benchy. Goes to our very own Gabe for predicting a Packers game-winning field goal from the Packers and being at Lambeau to see it. Let's play that video.
I'm going to go with my Packers. Vibes are good. Kicker wins the game. McManus, he's not going to win the game.
Got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good.
Yeah, so that's Gabe and Angel at the Packers game. Gabe there predicting the game-winning field goal and then being in person to see it. Of course, Angel seemed like he made a friend there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Of the female persuasion.
A wabbit season.
Anyone else got one?
I mean, I think the funny thing is Angel's face is like, nah, he's not going to do it. And then he's going nuts in the
He's
And
enjoying
Gabe,
it the
Gabe
most.
just looks like a proud dad. Just looking at his boys.
What a moment. That's a core fandom memory moment. You guys got any more?
Yeah, I got one. It's the next benchy is it's just Joshin. Josh Allen, he does it again. They start off pretty bad. We're wondering what's going on with the Bills, and then they just turn around and score 27 straight. And he's got a new toy there in Buffalo. Amari Cooper
Look pretty good.
He's making all these other guys look good, especially Keon Coleman went off again today. So Josh Allen, 12 touchdowns and no interceptions. He was the interception guy last year.
Yeah.
No interceptions this year.
Wild.
So this one isn't necessarily an award, a Benchy award. It's a little ology, all right? It's not a full apology, just a little ology.
Okay.
To Mike Tomlin, Russell Wilson, and Arthur Smith and those boys up in Pittsburgh. They look good tonight, and he might be their quarterback. Game's not over, but they look good.
Can you take the opportunity to update us on what's going on?
So right now, just started the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh's up 23-15, and they are at the 10-yard line. They're at the 5-yard line. They're at the 4.
Wow. Yep. So they're about to go up 2 touchdowns on the Jets with their new toy.
Yep.
Not going as well as the Bills
Not at
debut. The Jets are going to run out of reasons to not be very good here very fast.
I can't say I'm not surprised because I've said the Jets were going to stink the whole time. So
I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised how bad they look tonight, or how just janky they look.
Yeah, they've looked like this the whole season.
Yeah.
So
You're right. That's Monday's Benchies. Let's get to the news.
What's up, guys? This is former Rookie of the Year, All-Pro and 2-time Pro Bowl running back Clint Portis, and you are listening to the Benched Podcast.
All right. Week 7, almost in the books. We got a doubleheader tomorrow, or today when you're listening to this, Monday Night Football. But some pretty good football on Sunday. Unfortunately, the big stories are not great. Not great. Big-time injuries. One in particular that the fans didn't necessarily hate in the homestands there, and Deshaun Watson's teammates had something to say about it. But first, let's jump to a couple one. We woke up this morning to news that the Jets will get Hasaan Reddick back. He has agreed to a rework contract and will report to the team. The NFL's final holdout has now ended here in week number 7. Reddick settled on a short-term deal with hopes of a long-term deal in the future. So Reddick, going back to the Jets, so now within the span of 2 weeks, Woody Johnson has, and because he's been at the core of this, so not so much Joe Douglas, but Woody Johnson's been the core of bringing in Devontae Adams and now bringing in Hasaan Reddick, and they got those two back, but I don't know. I don't know if it does. I don't know how impactful this is because their pass rush has been fine. Like it's going to get better. The Devonta one is the one you need to really work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that needs to happen. I mean, you could see a little bit in the first half of the game tonight, them trying to go to Devontae early.
First play of the game.
First play. So I mean, that's the thing that needs to hit. But the defense is already solid. I think maybe he's jumping in. He's like, oh, we got Devontae. The offense is going to pop off. Let me go ahead and jump in on this. But
right.
I don't know. He might.
How many weeks do they get? What are they? If they lose tonight, they're what, 2
They
and
lose
5?
tonight, 2-5.
That's rough because Bills look good, and they're just going to get better. Amari Cooper's just going to get more comfortable in that offense. Dolphins, I think they're closer to the Dolphins than we think.
The Dolphins have treaded water enough. Did they didn't win today.
They lost today, yeah.
But Tua's coming back next week.
Yep.
They're 2-4. I think their 2-4 is better than what the Jets are looking at right now.
Yeah, because they looked good when Tua was healthy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if the Jets might not make the playoffs here.
Yeah.
What do we do what do the Jets do if they're all in on these stars that Aaron Rodgers handpicked and they just run it back next year?
When he's turning 42 next year?
Yeah, you definitely gotta draft a quarterback or go get somebody younger.
So they're Jordan Love years next year.
Yeah.
Yikes. Moving on here, Raiders quarterback Aiden O'Connell is believed to have suffered a broken thumb based on preliminary tests, and so Aiden O'Connell finally named the starter, and he doesn't make it through a full game. Gardner Minshew right back in, and the Raiders suck again. Not that he was going to make them any better, but this Raiders situation, it's time to tank.
Yeah, they got to go into the tank. I mean, Buzz from Home Alone is definitely not, he's not going to get the job done. Uncle Rico's definitely not getting the job done either with the Raiders. They're a mess. They just need to blow it up. Yeah. Maybe Brady needs to lace it up. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
There's so much work to be done there. It's not just one position group. It's not just the quarterback. There's so much work top to bottom that needs to be done in Vegas.
There really is. Like, you look at the roster, you think, like, where are the blue chip players to build around on this roster? Obviously, Max Crosby at the top of the list. He's already said, I'm not a part of no rebuild. Like, that language he used seemed like pre-trade language.
Yeah.
So I don't know what guys are there to build around. It's not in the backfield. It's not on the offensive line. It's not in the wide receiver room. It's certainly not in the quarterback room. It's a complete rebuild at this point.
Yeah, you definitely got to start over. And now's the right time. I mean, you're in a new city. Why not just go with a refresh and just build from the ground up? You can't. Nobody's really going there, especially where there's no quarterback there.
Right. No
winning culture. Well, why go to Vegas?
It seemed like just yesterday when Devontae Adams was there, Hunter Renfrow was lighting it up.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs was the leading rusher.
Wow.
Derek Carr was having his pretty solid year. And
Carl Nassib came out of the closet.
There it is. Darren Waller played football.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that guy. Wow.
It's just the Raiders have fallen apart so quickly.
Man, they had a squad.
Wow. It just fell apart completely, and now everyone's gone. Literally everyone. So we'll see what happens with them. Let's move on here. A couple big injuries. Let's start in San Francisco. 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk is feared to have torn an ACL during today's game. Brandon Aiyuk most likely tore his ACL. If you saw it, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Like the most like violent as far as like the ACL injuries I've seen in a long time. Just because it wasn't like a non-contact. It was a full contact ACL tear.
They showed it. You heard Brady react to it, and they went right to commercial and never showed it again.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly. And the Niners just played with both hands tied behind their back today. Aiyuk went down. Debo was out.
Yep.
Of course, CMC's still out. Purdy was just trying to get it done with who was out there?
Ricky
Conley.
Pearsall.
Yeah, Pearsall in his first start.
The rookie, Cowing.
Yeah, Cowling.
Yeah.
I saw Conley out there. Juwan Johnson hurt. I didn't see him out
Johnson's out. He was injured.
Yeah, so Niners are hurting, and now Aiyuk being gone is just the cherry on top to the poster child of why I'm just not going to deal with this kind of wide receiver. Because, it's just he was late to camp. He's not very good when he finally gets into the season, and now he's hurt, which is a thing when you miss camp.
Yeah.
When you miss and you don't have that proper ramp-up period, this happens. It's not an isolated event.
Yeah, this happens all the time. So, I mean, we can't be surprised with it, and they should have made a move earlier. Either pay the guy or trade the guy. You kind of hold on to now you have him on your roster and you pay him too late. Now he's hurt. Now you don't have him.
Does this any way, I was thinking about this earlier, does this any way propel them into the wide receiver market now? Which is crazy to think about because of what they had to go through just to get Aiyuk on the team, the money they had to spend, the money they're spending on Debo. They spent a first-round draft pick on a receiver. So much capital in his wide receiver room. Are they forced into the into the wide receiver trade market now?
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, they're definitely a contender. They're a team that's trying to get right back where they were. I mean, yeah, there's for Hopkins. Maybe I know Ridley just signed, but
Right.
you know, maybe someone like that too. So I mean,
Who's your dream prospect to go to the Niners?
I think a good fit would be Christian Kirk. He's kind of he kind of fits that Niners mold
Yeah.
for receivers. They don't have like, you know, the big guys that big dominant wide receivers. They make it work with kind of those smaller guys, gadget guys. I think he fits.
I think I automatically want to think who's the best yak guy available, because that's kind of their whole thing, right? I don't know if
there is one available.
T. Higgins isn't a big yak guy. He's more of like an possession receiver type.
I don't know. Is Moore from Elijah Moore? Is he healthy?
He's healthy and he's there. I mean that might be worth a shot.
Another guy, you know, you can throw in there.
Might be worth a shot. I'm not sure what other. I mean, Amari Cooper would have been nice, I guess. Or
I don't know if the Niners are the organization to do this. So they're notoriously stubborn with their own guys.
They made the big move for CMC.
That's true. I mean, that's CMC though.
I wonder if Angel's boy, he's always trying to put in every team, would be a good fit for them. Treylon Burks. He fits the mold.
What? And he was the whole draft night was Deebo Samuel.
He fits the mold as someone you just want as a Dodgers scored again. We're up 8-4, about to go to the World Series. But yeah, he fits the mold of like a Niners receiver who just get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing after the catch. I don't know what they're going to do. I agree with you. I think this definitely does propel them into the wide receiver market, and that's going to be very interesting because, I guess they haven't always done it, but they did show at some points with CMC anyway that they're willing to get aggressive and F them picks if they need to because their window's closing.
Yeah.
Like the money's coming to Purdy for sure.
Yeah, and then there's other guys you gotta on that roster you gotta pay too. So
yeah. Let's move on to Cleveland here, and this was the big one, the one that kind of sent shockwaves through the NFL. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson was carted off, is feared to have suffered a torn Achilles injury. Sources say a likely season-ending injury for Watson, unfortunately exactly as it appeared on the field. I think they already did confirm this one, that this is a ruptured Achilles. He's gone for the year, and it's almost like the Aiyuk thing, but like much, much worse. Like the end to a very, very just terrible experiment. And now Deshaun Watson's gone. DTR went down right after him. The only healthy quarterback on their roster now is Jameis Winston. I don't know. Where do you want to start with the Deshaun Watson thing?
All right. First of all, watching the injury live was just that was a nasty one.
Yeah.
It's clearly, I mean, everyone knew it was an Achilles. Just
The
see
whole calf just shudders.
Yep.
Just to see it pop. So that was rough. Obviously, the fans booing and cheering. That's I don't even know. I don't know where to begin.
I feel like I can get ugly sports fan for sure. I don't know if I could boo a guy in tears getting carted off the field with a ruptured Achilles.
There's a video of one of the fans literally standing up, arms up, clapping, waving the crowd up. That's crazy.
They hate Deshaun Watson there. That's wild.
I mean, it's like you get it though. Like, I mean, if I'm a fan on the couch, yeah, I'm probably like that. In the stands live, yeah, I don't know if I want my face on my face.
I mean, and it must have been like because a lot of times things will be pointed out, especially like, hey, the crowd cheered by like the media, but it wasn't actually that noticeable like in the stands.
Right.
But this was obviously very noticeable because Myles Garrett, Jameis Winston was very passionate about it. Yeah. Everyone, it was very, very noticeable, and just it seems like a very like pathetic situation all the way around. Like you have this franchise quarterback who obviously has a very, I don't want to say troubled, but just a very complicated past in that city. You have the aspect of all the money he's being paid anyway. Then on top of that, this franchise that seems snake bit at the quarterback position for all these years. And like it's like the perfect marriage of drama.
There's so much weird juju around.
So many
everything.
layers.
Yeah, and my wife was asking me like, why is this such a big deal? And it's just, I said one thing and it's like, but there's also this, and but then there's also this. It's just like you said, it's so layered. Everything that comes together in this one moment of him having a season-ending and maybe career-changing injury.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later in our Ball Don't Lie segment, but I mean, I think we've seen the last of Deshaun Watson, at least in Cleveland.
Agreed.
And I think really the bigger point I wanted to make, though, I think we're about to see a massive teardown in Cleveland. Because one thing about Cleveland and the owner there, they've spent money. They haven't been tight. They've brought in there's a ton of money in that O-line. There's a ton of money in that and assets in that defensive secondary. We'll see. Like, I think Judy's untouchable, but you brought up Elijah Moore. I think he's going. I think several of those offensive linemen are going to go. And Njoku would be a prize piece for a lot of teams who want some offensive help. I think a lot of these guys are gonna get shipped off. Kind of hidden in this whole thing, Nick Chubb's back.
Yeah. Nick Chubb's back. Scored a touchdown. Scored the first touchdown for him. I mean, I lost him on my fantasy team, but I mean, I feel like I got a good return.
I mean, he didn't look especially great. I don't think his outlook for the season is going to be very good. A recovering 28-year-old back on the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
But cool to see him back. I don't wonder how awkward that question was after. Like, how great did it feel to come back? You know, and the whole locker room just somber. Like, it was really great. Let's move on, bro. Like,
I had a good game. We'll talk about it in the back.
We'll talk about it later. But yeah, Nick Chubb's back, but Sean down, and just time to start over for the Browns. And I honestly think it should be. I think eventually it's going to be a nice relief all the way around.
Yeah, definitely need to be a fire sale. Get as much assets back as you can. I mean, I think you can. I don't know if you move off of Garrett, but I think you can get a ton back from
That's
him.
Another guy I didn't think about. Yeah,
you
definitely.
get a ton back for Myles Garrett.
That can really jumpstart a rebuild.
You know, a team
sure.
I mean, what about a team like Detroit?
God. I mean,
Just
really.
Go all in if you're Detroit.
They can get so much for him this season because it feels like there would be such a bidding war for a Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
I know the Eagles would have interest. The Detroit would for sure have interest. The Chiefs always are in the mix. The Niners are always in the mix. I think you would get 3 firsts, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, and then maybe even a young player. Like, you would get a haul for a Myles Garrett. You'd clear a lot of money off your books. And like I said, just kind of jumpstart this rebuild.
Over.
I like it.
He'd be the first guy I'd look to move off of that team.
I think so. All right, that's the news for week number 7. Let's take a quick break. We'll get back to our Monday segment, Ball Don't Lie. Be right back. This segment is brought to you by Dad Gang Hats. Dad Gang makes the highest quality hats in the apparel industry because they use premium materials, pay close attention to detail, and prioritize durability and comfort. With so many styles, colors, and designs, they absolutely have the right hat for you and the dad in your life. Use code BENCHED76826. That's BENCHD 76826 for 15% off your first purchase. Shop Dad Gang Hats. Quality hats for quality dads. All right, with Monday nearly in the books, we're going to get to our segment, Ball Don't Lie, taking a look back at the games that were on this Sunday and pointing out a couple things that we noticed on the field. Who wants to get started? You want to start us, Terrell?
Yeah, I'll start us off with my Ball Don't Lie. Ball Don't Lie, the Chiefs are a cheat code. I mean, it's not fair. AJ pointed it out earlier with Mahomes. He plays just awful in the game, but he still has these little plays that they piss you off throughout the entire game, right? You just to spin the whole defense around to you're going out of bounds, throw a fake, and to continue up the sideline, and the defense is just they're lights out. I feel like they have a whole nother gear left to them. The defense just forced 3 turnovers. I mean, 2 of them, Brock Purdy is just like, all right, wow, that's really bad, but. The defense is lights out. The running game is just a revolving door of running backs who put up numbers. Like Kareem Hunt's just coming in and putting up numbers too. Kelsey is, they're saving him but also playing him at the same time and have no wide receiver help at all. None. And they're still winning games. It's unfair.
Yeah, this version of the Chiefs is unlike any team we've ever seen, I think. The only comparable one I could think of is maybe when the Titans would be pretty good. Like, it was pretty ugly. Tannehill wasn't very good, but even then you had Derrick Henry prime. I don't know what the special part about this team is. Maybe it's Spags in that defense and just their just clutch ability. But this offense doesn't look very impressive. It doesn't look very scary. Mahomes just kind of makes it work. That run you're referencing on the sideline is, if you want to look back one day and like what were the 2024 Chiefs like? Just show them that run. Like, this is the BS that the Chiefs were. And yet, last undefeated team in the league. And I mean, well on the way to hosting playoff games all all throughout the playoffs.
It's just unfair. And it's funny because like you're listening to the broadcast, Tom Brady's talking to Mahomes. He's like, "What's the difference for you now?" And Mahomes is like, "Oh, the game is finally slowing down." But he's sucking right now. What do you mean the game is slowing down? Speed it up again. Speed it up and throw 50. Where's the guy who's throwing 50 touchdowns? Like,
yeah,
I think he needs to. I mean, I guess he obviously doesn't have Tyreek Hill, anymore in the weapons, but I mean, be a little bit more reckless, I guess. Like, do that, but I don't know. He's not playing great, but they're still winning games. It's the defense for sure, but still they're still making these plays. They're still they're scoring in the red zone. It's a play to Hardman. It's a play to Worthy. They have these big explosive plays. I think that's the strength of their offense is they have those backbreaker plays. And then of course Mahomes, he's so good in the pocket. Yeah. Like you can't bring him down. And then he rolls out. Mahomes out of the pocket. You're just like, all right, well, something's about to happen. I can't see it on the TV right now, but a big play is about to happen.
And now he's actually running. Yeah. Do you see him today truck the safety? I saw that. I was like, what are we supposed to do?
Stared him down.
Like, that was a super badass
And that
moment.
was the rookie Mustafa who had 2 insane hits before that earlier in the game.
It's just I don't understand these Chiefs. I think he nailed it by calling it's a cheat code. It doesn't make sense. They're going to continue to win, and you can't quantify what makes this team great, but they're just going to keep winning. Unfortunately, I have no doubt that they could win this way in the playoffs. Yeah. Like, they could definitely sustain this. I think any other team, we would look at this and think maybe a little pretender. Like, they can't possibly keep this up. But I think at this point with this team, I'm not going to doubt that the Chiefs can't just keep winning this way.
I think if you were to put the Chiefs and the Jets side by side, like you think that the Chiefs have the same record as the Jets.
Yeah.
But they don't. They're both. There's like, what's the identity to this offense? What's the identity to this team? How do they? They're cheaters.
I got a comparison for you. This year's Chiefs team is playing way worse than our Eagles last year when we were doing the same thing. What did we start off 8-0?
Yeah.
10-1 at one point. Yeah. That was a more fun team to watch. You felt safer about that team winning week to week than this Chiefs team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we looked at that team last year and we thought, there's no way they keep this up.
Yeah.
This is going to implode, and it did. And yet we do not have that kind of thought. Like, no, they're definitely going to keep it up. The Chiefs are going to be able to sustain this and just keep frustrating the hell out of fan bases on Twitter. Yeah. And can we stop blaming the refs and stop already? They figured out they win. That's what they do. Tom Brady said it over and over again today when he was calling that game. At this point in his career, it's about winning games. Stats matter, but it's about winning. And that's where Mahomes is in his career. That's all that matters right now.
They draw up the right play at the right time. I think, too, it's a combination of the AFC isn't that scary. So they can get away with playing like this because the next scary team is Buffalo and Baltimore.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much, and they beat Baltimore this year and they've owned Buffalo. So
that's a pretty good point. I mean, I'm looking at the AFC right now, and you think Chiefs, yes. Texans, I think, were pretty impressive today. And I think once they get Nico Collins back, it's a very different game in that Green Bay game. I think those were 2 really good teams. The Buffalo Bills, I think we all kind of believe in them, and the Ravens. After that, it drops to the Steelers and Chargers, and then the Colts behind that.
Yeah, whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't forget about Denver.
I'm saying, like, record-wise, then it would be Denver. That's what I'm saying.
So Steelers 4th, Colts 5th?
So Ravens 4th right now. So it goes Chiefs, Texans, Bills, Ravens.
Texans. Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah, those 4 teams for sure. Solid AFC teams. After that, it drops down to the Steelers, Chargers, Colts, Broncos.
Wow.
Like, it gets really bad after those top 4 teams, which is kind of crazy.
And after you saying all that, the Jets still have I wouldn't even call it a puncher's chance. The Jets still have a good shot to waltz into or to sneak into the playoffs.
That's what I'm willing to wait on the Jets a little bit because of the condition of the AFC. But right now, the Chiefs run it, and they're 100% a cheat code. I'm going to go with mine here. Ball don't lie. The top 3 teams in the NFC all play for the NFC North.
Yeah.
And I would put it in this order. The Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. Those three teams are the three best teams in the NFC. I've never seen that before, where like all the best teams come from one conference. And I'll say the Bears are very close to being a top 5 team.
I think I agree. I would say 3 teams from this division are making the playoffs, but it's not crazy to say all 4 teams will make the playoffs.
They for sure could. I think right now, if the season ends today, they would.
Yeah, it's not out of the equation, and they're all solid at the quarterback position.
Yeah,
and they're all good on defense too. So like they're all their defenses are solid. They have good coaching. They have good QB play.
I mean, that's a good point too.
I'll say maybe Eberflus is a little bit further down on the coaching, but
I'm just noticing this right now. I think the 4 best defenses are in this division. Like Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears. The other formidable defenses, you guys say yes or no if the Buccaneers are better than them. Anyone there?
No.
Seahawks.
No.
Falcons.
No.
Eagles.
Definitely not.
Cowboys.
No.
The only one that would kind of question is the Niners. But
and
even
they're
then,
so up and down. Yeah,
I don't know if I'd pick them over, like, who would the bottom be? The Bears defense, I guess?
No.
I would say Detroit's defense.
Detroit's
especially
defense,
after
I would
losing.
take Tampa's defense over Detroit's.
I think Detroit's defense, well, I guess with Aiden Hutchinson.
Losing Aiden Hutchinson, yeah.
Yeah. But they would, like, compete with the Niners defense with a healthy pass rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, this division is just, I remember, if you remember in the offseason, looking like, oh, man, this thing could go so many different ways. It's just crazy to see every single one of these teams' plans all work out. It worked out for all of them. They all have the right guy at quarterback. They all have the right coaches for the most part.
They all implemented a, however you want to say it, several-year plan.
Yep.
Like the Bears, Ryan Poles came there, I think 3 years ago, implemented a plan.
Yep.
The Lions plan started 4 years ago. Packers drafting Jordan Love 4 years ago. And then the Vikings moving off of Kirk Cousins, and still they haven't skipped a beat.
Right.
In fact, they've been better this year.
Yeah, it's just this division's wild. I can't wait to see these guys in higher leverage games. It's encouraging to me that now at this point in the season, they've all played pretty high leverage games, except for maybe the Bears. But that Vikings-Lions games today, both those teams are very impressive.
Yeah.
For the Lions to win without their best guy on defense, maybe the whole team, Aiden Hutchinson, very impressive. I did not feel bad about the Vikings at all. I thought they looked really good. I thought Aaron Jones looked really good. Yeah. If he's healthy in the postseason, that's going to change things. Hawkinson's coming back in a couple of weeks. That team has a lot left on the bone still, too. These 4 teams, I think, you're right, all make the playoffs. And I think it's more than likely that the Super Bowl representative for the NFC is coming from the NFC North.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. I like this division. It's pretty intense. I mean, now I will say, I did say a couple weeks ago, the Vikings. I'm not 100% that I think they're the team that squeaks in of the three teams. I think they might be the 6th seed coming into it, because Darnold, we're starting to see him starting to come back down to being Sam Darnold.
So you don't believe in Sam Darnold yet, huh?
No, I mean I don't. I'm not a Sam Darnold is the savior for the team. I think he's fine. The defense is going to carry them, but I think the Lions will win this division. Then it'll be the Packers. Then the Vikings will be the 3rd team, and then the Bears and Vikings are going to fight it out to see who will squeak it in. I still think 2 teams come out of the East. So I think Commanders and Eagles both get in there.
Yeah, possibly. Sam Darnold today, to Terrell's point, didn't have a especially big day, but 22 of 27, very efficient. 259, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. I think that interception was a I don't want to say that because I'm not sure, but 1 touchdown, 1 interception, was sacked 4 times. I think he looked fine in a divisional game. He didn't exactly light it up, though, and maybe that was a difference between him and his counterpart, because Jared Goff did light it up, and that was a difference in this game. But, yeah, we'll have to see, because we haven't seen – our hopes for him is that the Vikings found their Jared Goff. They found their, journeyman veteran quarterback.
Crazy that we're saying that now about Jared Goff.
I know, right?
Good for him.
Well, that leads to my next one. Let's go.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you – go ahead.
But I don't lie, Jared Goff deserves MVP conversation. He deserves it 100%. I have a stat here on Jared Goff because he didn't start the best, right? We were almost a little bit like, is Jared Goff okay? And then he just lit the world on fire. In his last 10 quarters, 48 of 55, 7 incomplete passes in 55 attempts. Wow. 48 of 55, 763 passing yards, 7 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 155 passer rating. There's no quarterback in the NFL right now playing better than Jared Goff.
You all laughed at me.
I did.
You all laughed at me.
Yeah, and what AJ's talking about is that you this is AJ's pick, his dark horse
pick for MVP.
And yeah, I'm there with him.
Yeah, I mean, my dark horse is also in this division with Jordan Love, but he's thrown too many interceptions, I think, to get it. Yeah, Jared Goff is special. He's nice. He makes a lot of clutch throws and a lot of clutch plays, and he doesn't really turn the ball over well. He works the pocket well, and he stands in there. I see so many quarterbacks, the ball gets to them and they're hopping around on their back foot the whole time, and then they're looking to run or get out of the pocket. He just stands in there and just makes all the good throws.
And let's not pretend that Jared Goff has all the weapons at his disposal that the other top teams, even in this conference, have. You look at the Vikings; their weapons scattered across the board, just weapons everywhere. Hawkinson coming back. The Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Laporta, but we're not going to use them. And they have those running backs. Other than that, like as far as passing, this isn't a guy with a stacked wide receiver room.
No, I mean you have a lot of good players. Yeah, he's making a lot of guys look good.
Khalif Raymond had a day today.
Yeah,
I saw Khalif Raymond. I saw Tim Patrick
playing well.
right off the practice squad. He's playing well. Like, I think Jared Goff, if he's not on your MVP ballot, at least almost halfway through the season, then you got a faulty ballot because this guy he's I think the best quarterback in the NFL at this moment.
Yeah, I mean the only one I could put up there to compete with him is Lamar Jackson. I mean he's also having an MVP type season, but out of the NFC, there isn't he's the best quarterback. He's the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
Yeah. Do you have another one?
I got Yankees-Dodgers World Series confirmed.
Yeah, it's over. Yep.
We're going back to the show, boys. Wow, go Dodgers. I got Hideo Noma right here. Wow, we're going back to the World Series. I will be there for at least one of the games. I famously spent our rent money 1 month on Game 7 of the World Series. I was living with Angel in an apartment.
I remember that, yep.
And I had the rent. I had literally enough money to pay the rent or one Dodger ticket in the top deck, Section 10, Row A. And I said, screw it, you live once. And I bought the ticket and watched the Dodgers lose.
Game 7
of the World Series.
Not homeless, so it was worth it.
Yeah, and I remounted fine. There's always another department out there. There's only one Game 7. But yeah, Dodgers going back. I'll be there for sure. All right, I want to do one more thing here, kind of in a quick style. Move through the entire game list and just comment real quick on each game. Quick update: the Steelers are blowing out the Jets.
Yeah,
it's 30-15. They have the ball. I think
they've had the ball for the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Is this gonna work? Is this because right before the game? I don't know if you guys caught Mike Tomlin's comments. He said, "This is on me. Like, I will take the heat for this." I went. Wow. He said, "I think something of
Lone Ranger."
Yes, that was the comment. He said, "I went Lone Ranger on this," and so he's putting all his faith in Russell Wilson.
And he said, "If I go back to Justin Fields, it's over. I'm staying with Justin Fields."
Really?
Yeah. He said, "If I go with him, I'm staying with him." So,
I mean, Russ tonight, 16 completions for 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown as well.
I mean,
in fantasy, he's QB1 this week
against the Jets.
Yeah.
There's nothing to pick apart for Russell Wilson for this game.
Yep.
He had some very crazy throws to start the game, but since then, I mean, those numbers are super solid, especially against this Jets defense. Bad news for the Jets. He put up 15 points in the debut of Devontae Adams.
The play calling looked nothing like it did on Monday night. Monday night against the Bills. Play calling looked great. They looked sharp. They looked energized. Totally different team tonight.
You know who I feel just got super overruled here? This does not look like an Arthur Smith offense. Like, we just said, listen, Arthur, we're not doing your thing anymore. Like, that may have been the thing in Atlanta, but we're not doing that anymore.
To be fair, in Arthur's tenure with Atlanta, he never had a quarterback. He had Matt Ryan's last year. Then he had Taylor Heineke and then Desmond Ritter.
So are we now saying that?
And
now
Mariota. Yeah, he's never had a quarterback. He's got a quarterback now.
Now it's Russ. I mean,
2 of the most least liked individuals on this show, Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith.
He balled out today. Yeah. I think I'm still wait and see. Mm-hmm. I want to see, sure. I think sometimes a shakeup can maybe get you to play a little above than what you're going to be at in the long term. So I want to see this. I want to see him continue this, and the Steelers offense continue to operate this way. Because we were talking before the show, like there's a lot of just throw the ball up and pray to George Pickens.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a good chance that they can sustain this. I mean, you got to look at where Russell Wilson. This is huge for his career because he loses out to Justin Fields and he doesn't play well. He's done. He's not getting another job.
Nope.
So
Not a starting job.
Yeah, not a starting job. I think you could tell in this game, like it took him a couple drives to figure it out, but he's got some momentum. He had some corny handshakes after his touchdowns, but I don't know if you get this type of Russell Wilson. Remember, the guy threw 26 touchdowns last year.
Yep.
So, and I think he was playing a little bit too conservative.
And it's not like the offense in Denver has been, Russell Wilson was the problem. It's still been pretty low production over there. And so I'm willing to wait and see. Obviously, it massively screws me in fantasy, but I mean, you got to give it to Russ if he comes in, takes this job, and if the Steelers have this Russell Wilson,
they're definitely a contender to make it.
It changes the conversation, for sure.
And I think they definitely jump into the receiver market if Russ is playing like this. Go get a second guy and just to the moon with that team.
Think about that. Crazy. The Steelers are a passing team now. All right, let's move on here. We won't spend a lot of time with all the games. Jaguars, Patriots. Jaguars look fine, but the Patriots aren't very good. The one thing I will point about this game, do you guys see after the game? Son of the owner, I forgot, Omar Khan, his son posted a picture with Doug Peterson, congratulating him on the game, on the win, just kind of like a real, like, hey, Dad, please don't fire my friend type thing. It was kind of funny. We'll see if it's fired.
Is that post still up? That's what it'll be telling if he had to take that post down.
It's still up. Yeah, I forgot to put it in the slides, but it's still up, and we'll see. I think Dougie P. Watch has started. Also, I don't know if – I hope they don't think like a win against the Patriots is a reason not to sell off players. Like, it's still time to sell.
Yeah, you still got to go. Yeah. The Jags are pretty much done.
In one of the more surprising wins for me, Seahawks beat the Falcons.
This was a toss-up game for me. I mean, I picked Atlanta to win this game, but I don't know. The Seahawks they're another team. They're Seahawks and Atlanta, I guess, are the same type of team. They're an up-and-down team that when they do win, they typically look really good when they do win, and then when they lose, they look awful.
Yeah.
When they lose games.
DK Metcalf did get carted off this game. Last what I could find is that he avoided serious injury. He might miss a week or two, but DK's fine. Geno Smith got it done today, and Kenneth Walker gets it done in a different way for this team. And when they have a healthy Kenneth Walker, I think they're different. What I don't understand here is how the Falcons, like at some points this year, I think like, they look like the best team in the NFC, and then they're getting blown out by the Seahawks, who have had their struggles this year. I don't know. I think one of the up and down teams of the NFC that makes you think that the NFC is pretty much wide open as long as you avoid those NFC North teams. Yeah. So we want here Titans Bills was close first, but what's supposed to happen happened.
Yep.
Bills pulled away. I think the Titans did not score in the second half, and the Bills poured on. I think at least
27-0.
Yeah. In the second half, 27-0. Move on here. The Bengals moved to 3-4. They beat the Browns only by one touchdown. And I think what's hidden in this, Deshaun Watson goes down, Nick Chubb is back, is that the Bengals beat the Browns by one touchdown.
Yeah, I think this was a mix of the Browns or the Bengals just knowing that they're probably not going to lose this game, so they weren't really going crazy. But at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, the Bengals don't look.
I called this.
They don't look scary.
Yep.
I think they might end up at the bottom. They might be a 7-win team.
This is this year's Eagles team from last year, where they're even when they win, you're like, that doesn't look right.
When I made my pick, I said I've got Bengals here, but they're going to play to the level of their competition, and it's going to be closer than it should.
Bengals to me are a total. You're not a playoff team. Like you're not a playoff team. You're a top 10 pick. Like you look like a team that should pick in the top 10. You also look like a team that definitely should trade away T. Higgins and get something for him before you lose him, just so you can have a, at best, 500 season. Like you need to trade him, and they're a notoriously stubborn team, so I don't know if they will, but keep an eye on them.
Guess who they play next week?
Who do they play?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh.
Yep.
We'll talk about them.
Yes, we will.
In a fantastic game, Packers-Texans. Did you guys watch?
Oh, yeah.
this was such a good back and forth, just elite football game.
You never knew who had the edge at any point in this game. You never felt comfortable if you're a Texans fan. You never felt comfortable if you're a Packer fan.
Yep.
It was just back and forth.
I was just sitting there thinking, exactly like you said, either of these teams is going to win. Like, well, obviously, either team's going to win this game, but either of these teams can win the game. They're both very much in it. I could see either of these quarterbacks making a play to win it. I could see Joe Mixon making a play. I could see Jordan Love. Jordan Love. He was balling. I could see either one of these teams still in this game, and I'm very impressed. I was pulling for the Packers just because Gabe was there. Like, it was such a cool thing for him if they won. And I think no shame to either of these teams if they lost. These are two elite teams just meeting up for the first time, and I think these battles, this is the next Bills versus Bengals, Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. Like, these teams have a bright future. If you're these fan bases, you should be so excited.
Yeah, there was, and in the game, right? You got the Texans. They have the ball with about 2 minutes left, and these are the type of plays or situations where you look at it like, do you run the ball to try to get them to use their timeouts, or you try to get that first down? And it was run, and then try to throw on third down, a 3rd and 15 on an out route. I mean, I think you run first and then you throw on second. You got to be aggressive in this situation. Right. So I mean, those are the tricky ones, those series. But I'm always watching whenever I see it. It's like throw on second, throw it on second. But that was a fun game in the all white Packer uniforms. Those were pretty crisp,
nice.
Pretty sharp. I do want to point out a couple of things here. Both for the Texans. One for the Texans, one for the Packers. For the Texans, if Joe Mixon's healthy in the playoffs, I know that I've said they're not a Super Bowl contender, and it's kind of semantics because I definitely think they could win a Super Bowl. I don't want to put them there yet until they've made a deep playoff run at least once. But if Joe Mixon's healthy, I don't know if there's a team they can't beat because he was an absolute game wrecker today.
Yeah.
So good in the pass game, in the run game, gives them that physical element that sometimes if you get a quarterback like C.J. Stroud and all these talented receivers, you get a little softness in your style of play. I think a running back like Joe Mixon adds that physical element that I think the Bengals are missing, and I think he's a difference maker for them. Yeah. The other thing I'll point out is the Packers' defense is an absolute buzzsaw. Like, we're not appreciating how good this defense is. They shut down C.J. Stroud like I haven't seen shut down maybe since the Jets game last year. Like, I think he had 9 completions today. C.J. Stroud. And I know Nico Collins is down, but you still have Stephon Diggs, you still have Tank Dell, and you still have, Dalton Schultz is still there. You still have enough to at least put up a better fight than I saw from this Texans offense. I think not too worried about the Texans offense. I think they're going to be fine. They'll get Nico Collins, and he might be, one of the best receivers in the league. So I think they're fine. But this Packers defense is something to keep tabs on. Hopefully they stay healthy because they give him a real shot.
Yeah. C.J. Stroud went 10 for 86 today, and 0 for Tank Dell. 10 completions for 86 yards.
Like 10 Damn. It was worse than I thought. So we'll move on here. Dolphins, Colts. Colts won 16-10. Everything still looks bad, but Tua coming back next week.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Dolphins sit at 2-4 and definitely not out of the AFC playoff race. We'll keep an eye on them. Lions, Vikings. We talked a lot about this one. Lions edge out the Vikings to give them their first loss. Both of them sit at 5-1. And, of course, with the tiebreaker, Lions not only sit on top of that division, but the entire conference, which is exactly where they belong.
Yeah. They're another team was in the same situation. Like, do you try to get that? You hustle to get that first down. They couldn't get a first down, and then now the Lions get the ball back and milk the clock out and get the game-winning field goal.
We know that if the Lions were to add someone in the before the trade deadline, we all think, okay, it's obviously a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Who do the Vikings need to add? What is this team missing? Do you just sit tight, or what if you can grab some new toy for this team? What do the Vikings need?
I think that I don't know. I mean, I think maybe some sort of gadget back, some sort of wild card back that they can throw in there. I mean, you just got picked up Cam Akers, right? That was a new acquisition for them. So, maybe he comes in and makes a little bit more plays. Try to get one of these tight ends. Maybe it's Pitts. Maybe it's Njoku.
Yeah.
That you can make a play for.
Don't underplay T.J. Hawkinson coming back. as a safety blanket for Sam Darnold.
That
It's
could
kind
be
of
their
that
big acquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Hawkins, and they don't seem to have a real weakness. Today they lost, obviously, and you're not going to replace Sam Darnold. Like, you're not going to upgrade a quarterback here. Your receiver room looks plenty deep enough. I do think, you're probably deep in that running back room because if Aaron Jones goes down, I don't know if you want to hand this to Ty Chandler for like in the playoffs. So, keep an eye on them, but they'll definitely be buyers, not sellers. Eagles beat the Giants 28-3, and like AJ and I predicted, Saquon, I guess he lied to us. I guess he really did see it as a revenge game because he beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, he trampled all over the Giants. And that clip is circulating with the Giants owner.
Yeah.
The Giants they're never gonna volunteer for Hard Knocks again. Like that clip of John Mara saying if he goes to Philly, I'm
losing sleep.
I'm losing sleep. I mean, they've gotten so much run out of that clip because Saquon, not only was he good, now I think he was 10 yards a carry against the Giants at home. Just almost because the game was kind of back and forth early. It didn't look great. Me and AJ were texting each other like, what the hell's wrong with the Eagles? And then Saquon finally just said, we are not losing this game, took over, and was just ripping off chunks at a time. A.J. Brown looked good. I don't want to say the Eagles are back because they beat the Giants, and who they beat last week?
Browns.
The Browns. Yeah. They beat the Browns last week? Yeah, the Browns. And next week they'll play the Bengals. I don't want to say they're back yet, but I think it's very encouraging for the Eagles that, number one, Jalen Hurts hadn't turned the ball over in 2 games because he was even turning the ball over against bad teams. And maybe he watches the show because I did say Jalen Hurts has a problem and it's turnovers. Ever since then, I don't know. Maybe turnovers. I don't know.
He's one of those subscribers.
Yes.
Been adding to lately.
on a what's it called what is it called when you have a fake Twitter?
Finsta.
Yeah, Finsta.
Yeah.
He's one of these guys. Jalen might be able to turn it around soon.
Little burner phone.
That's it. Burner
account. Yeah.
But yeah, Eagles win against the Giants. I think we all called it. And
they just put a pounding. Between Jalen Hurts and our running backs, we carried the ball 45 times today. 45 carries today.
I think this is the team we need to be, though.
Exactly. So your words kept ringing through my ears or ringing through my head today watching the game. Just dive into making this Saquon Barkley's team.
Yeah.
Let's step away from Jalen Hurts. He passed the ball 14 times today. I mean, he didn't play the fourth quarter. He went 10 for 1,414 yards and a touchdown. That's fine.
What did he rush for? I know he had
7 carries, 22 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying.
That's totally fine if that's how we're winning football games.
This is our winning formula, I think. Yeah. And go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I think good teams can beat down the teams that they're supposed to beat. So
Right.
I'm gonna go against you on that. I think they are back. I think they have found their rhythm. It's pound the rock. That's what was working for them early last season and a couple seasons ago. Just pound the rock, run the football, be a tough physical team, and then the same thing on defense, and you'll win games. You shouldn't beat the Giants by 10. You should beat them by 25 points. That's the team. Those are the teams you got to do. You did the same thing against the Browns last week. So come out and dominate the games you're supposed to. That's a sign that you're a good team. So that's where I put them.
Eagles have also turned a page, if you're paying attention, on defense, where Avonte Maddox isn't playing that as much anymore, and now Cooper DeJean is in.
Yeah, yep.
And he's playing fantastic. He's such a sure tackler, which is something we haven't had, especially at nickel position, in a while. Quentin Mitchell looks really, really good. He played really well against Malik Neighbors today, who had his worst game of his career so far against the Eagles. So that was nice to see. Daniel Jones got benched, by the way.
Buzz Lightyear came in.
Yeah, he was really bad too. When asked about it, Brian Dable said he was looking for a spark. And so he brought in Drew Lock,
who dropped the ball on his first snap.
He's just an irresponsible child. Yeah. He really is. And I thought it was funny when he said that. Like, so you're looking for a spark, so you went to I always want to call him Zach Wilson, to Drew Lock.
Same thing.
It's the same guy, yeah. But anyway, Eagles beat the Giants. Move on here. Raiders, Rams. Rams won 20-15. I think they're just treading water so they get healthy, and then we'll see what they do. And the Raiders absolutely suck. Yeah. Commanders, Panthers. Commanders win 40-7. And I don't know if Jaden Daniels scored.
He left the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Rib injury.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they beat 40-9 with
mostly Mariota.
With Mariota.
Yeah.
My ball don't lie. After week 3 was that Dave Canales knows what he's doing. And
That did not age well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that back. Look, go ahead and put Bryce Young in there. If you're gonna play like this every week,
Yeah.
for the last 3 weeks, yeah, go ahead and put the young guy back in there and let him get the reps. I mean, 7 points is rough, and the Commanders' defense is not good at all.
Right.
Like they're really bad, and you have a team. The Cardinals are put up numbers against this defense. Like the Panthers are awful. They're straight garbage. They're a team that needs to get rid of. They need to start moving off of some of their pieces too, and start to rebuild. So they got a couple pieces in there that they can move around.
The Panthers scored 7 points in the fourth quarter is when they scored that touchdown, by the way. The Commanders put up double-digit points in every quarter except the fourth. So they were just consistently going up and down the field with Marcus Mariota, who went 18 for 23 for 205, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, just casually. Andy Dalton, I think that experiment is, 93 yards today. That was rough. Deontay Johnson, he might be a possible trade candidate because he's going to kill someone if he stays there. Just 1 catch today for 17 yards.
Chuba Hubbard, somebody who needs a running back.
I would love the Eagles to go get Chuba Hubbard. I think a guy behind Saquon would be nice. I also think the Panthers might be moving on. I saw some tweets this week for Miles Sanders as a guy who might be moving on here. Obviously, a bigger contract who they're going to want to get off of. And like I think AJ just said, they need to start selling off some guys.
Yeah,
like you're a lot earlier in the rebuild than you thought you were.
I think another guy in a different environment would be better is J.C. Horn. Too.
Oh, yeah, he would be really
move
good.
Off him, put him on a different team.
God, is this a new low for the Panthers?
I didn't think it could get lower.
40-7.
Just like Terrell, you said, these are two bad defenses. In like the fantasy world, this was a game where you start everybody. Like you start Andy Dalton, and we had somebody in our league start Andy Dalton, and he gave him 0.02, not 0.2, 0.02.
Insert Danny Green. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Panthers are so. Are they gonna pick number 1 again? They're just gonna keep picking number. Jeez, eventually they have to get it right? I mean, jeez. I don't know. They're picking a quarterback again. Bryce Young, he probably won't be on the team come the end of the offseason. No. And they need to tear this thing down because they spent a lot of money in the offseason.
If I'm the Raiders or the Browns, though, I'm looking at this Panther situation and saying we can climb out of this a little bit sooner, or I don't know sooner, but just we have pieces we can move to have a brighter outlook over what the Panthers are looking at.
Right.
Because what the Panthers are looking at is, okay, maybe we're picking first again, and we haven't gotten that right. They don't have their second round pick this year. I think it goes to Chicago. Still part of that trade.
Yeah, you're
right. So it's bleak over there.
All right. Well, that we talked about the Chiefs Niners. Chiefs, of course, won 28-18, and they moved 6-0. Niners 3-4. Let's real quick look ahead for the Niners. Obviously, going to be without Aiyuk. Pearsall doesn't look ready yet.
No,
which you can't expect him to be. He's been in and out of the lineup the entire year.
Yeah.
It feels like they're one Jordan Mason injury away from being a really bad offense. Like, truly awful.
Yeah, I think they probably have. They might be in a situation like the Rams are. I think they're going to try to find themselves treading water and staying afloat. I think if they can, finish over the next 6 games, I think if they can go 3-3, I think they can make a late push. But
you want to hear their next 6 games?
Yes.
All right. Dallas next week, which started the season, you would have circled this game like, I can't wait. Niners and Cowboys, but we'll see who comes out of that one.
I can wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to call it? You want to call?
No, not yet.
Okay. So they got Dallas in Dallas. I'm sorry, at home against Dallas. Then they go into the bye week 9. They came out of the bye at Tampa Bay, home against Seattle, at Green Bay, at Buffalo.
Wow.
Home against Chicago.
They could literally go 2-4.
I think they'd be lucky to go 1-5. Like, they're not beating in those last 4 or 5 teams.
I mean, I can give them like Tampa. Tampa's a toss-up. Dallas is a toss-up.
Dallas is a toss-up. Yeah.
And Chicago, because Chicago is they've won their last 4 games, but they beaten the Panthers. They beat the Titans.
Still a rookie quarterback too.
Quarterback.
He's playing well,
so the Bears are playing well, but they haven't they haven't beaten any good team. Beat the Giants, I think, 2 in there. So they haven't beaten any good teams yet.
Okay, so an optimistic outlook would be 3-3.
Yeah.
So 3-3, they find themselves 6-7, and at the past the halfway mark. I mean, I think
you got to go 4-0 to end the season. I mean, they really have a shot.
I think it's a shot though. I don't think the Rams are going to go light the world on fire.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously
five losses.
Well, in their last 4 games, they've got the Rams and the Cardinals, 2 of those games. So could be really deciding games there. Both of those teams don't look like they're going anywhere.
What an opportunity for the Seahawks. If the Seahawks, if they can't just run away with the division in the next 6 weeks, they deserve to miss the playoffs because everyone else is hurt. Kyler doesn't look very good. Like it's a shame on you if you don't win this division this year, because you have no excuse.
Yeah, this is the Cardinals are bad, the Rams are bad, and this is their time. So, but only one team's coming out of this division, not with the NFC.
Please,
where it is.
Monday night doubleheader. We'll just pick these games. Ravens, Bucks, obviously a fantastic game. Both going in 4-2. Ravens, hottest team in the NFL, maybe.
As of this point, yeah.
I mean, Derrick Henry is someone that we need to be giving MVP looks at the end if he keeps playing like this. I think 9 touchdowns in 6 games, something crazy like that. Yeah. But the Buccaneers, I mean, just a team that keeps surprising us. Baker Mayfield, fountain of youth. Chris Godwin, like all of a sudden the best wide receiver in the NFL. Like, it's
now
not,
they have 3 running backs apparently.
Yeah, it's not easy to pick against them either. But I'll ask you too, who you got?
Honestly, I have Baltimore in this game, and I have Baltimore winning by 14.
Whoa, blowout.
Yeah.
So come to Jesus meeting here for
this
that.
is definitely a multi-pick game for Baker. He's definitely gonna. There's too many ball hawks out there, ball hawks in the secondary for Baltimore. So I think they're gonna give Godwin some fits there, and in this pass rush is gonna make when you can make Baker uncomfortable, then he's gonna turn the ball over. So
I want to pick the Bucs just for the story, but I think Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in that running game, I think they're too much for. I think I might have to change my pick to the Ravens. I'm going Ravens. Who you got, AJ?
This was the easiest pick of the week for me, for Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Baker's playing well, but this Bucs team seems like the same team as last year. A nice 8 or what would they be? 9-8 type team. You and Angel love the Bucs.
Okay, no, listen. As you were talking, I was like, you know what? I'm listening to Angel too much. Talk about the Bucs and how good Baker Mayfield is. I'm starting to believe it because I've always been like, no, the Bucs are the Bucs. Baker Mayfield's still Baker Mayfield. And you know what? You're right. The Ravens should win this game, and maybe even by multiple touchdowns.
I mean, if you rush, get Baker out of the pocket and rush him right up the middle, he's not really going to make a lot of plays. So he's definitely this is going to be a multi-turnover game. It's going to be rough for me in fantasy, I feel, tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going with Baltimore in this one.
That's the first game that comes on in a doubleheader, and because it's the first game, I don't think anyone's going to change the channel and go over to the Chargers, Cardinals. Cardinals have been a major disappointment. I'll stand on our Kyler Murray take.
This one's on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's on TV.
It's
ESPN Plus. Yeah, it's on ESPN Plus.
I think it's only on ESPN Plus.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not paying for Cardinals Chargers. Wrong one.
They thought they would. What do you think in Disney?
Yeah.
You thought we were like, oh, let's go and spend some money on the Cardinals and Chargers.
God.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, Kyler's a massive disappointment. I stand on our take. He's one of the more overrated guys in the league. He hasn't gotten any better. He's regressed, and he's just stayed at that point. Mm-hmm. He hasn't gotten any better. And I hate the argument that, well, now he has a weapon. He's had weapons. He had DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. James Conner's been good. Like, he's had guys.
He had good years of Hollywood Brown.
Exactly, Hollywood Brown. He had Cliff Kingsbury, who, by the way, is now all of a sudden, Cliff Kingsbury's a good coach now? Or he has a different quarterback who's actually good?
Yeah.
Kyler's overrated. I'm over it with Kyler.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the Chargers in this one. Their defense is nasty. They're going to give Kyler problems the entire game. So it's Chargers in this one.
I think so too. Chargers also another team in that wide receiver market who I don't think they're going to make any real noise in the playoffs, but I think they're one of those teams that's going to take away they're one of the reasons why the Jets can't mess around. Mm-hmm. Is because the Chargers are going to be better than you. They're going to have a better they're going to be consistently just good, and you can't be up and down because you'll lose your spot to someone like the Chargers.
Kind of like the Rams last year.
Exactly. I got the Chargers here, and I don't. I'd say less than a touchdown. I think it's going to be decently close, but I think the Chargers win. You got it, AJ.
Oh, it's Chargers for sure. I changed my pick last time, our last show, because I had started off with the Cardinals, and then there's nothing about this Cardinals team that gets me excited.
Nope. Marvin Harrison had that one game. Other than that, he's just been blah.
Yep.
I don't want to hate on Marvin Harrison because I don't think it's his fault. I legitimately think it's Kyler Murray. But when it comes to like fantasy, I think give me Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. And I was thinking about today, the fact that the Niners passed on him is just crazy. But Brian Thomas Jr. looks really good. Malik Nabers looks really good. I think he has a major attitude problem.
Yeah.
Especially today. I don't know if you guys saw his post-game interviews. He's just all attitude. Like, no one shut me down. I didn't get the targets I wanted. Like, I think that eventually is going to be a problem for a team that as bad as the Giants. But those two guys, I'll take them over Marvin Harrison right now.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, that's Monday Night Football. Hope you enjoyed that. And that's our show for today, episode 173. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you again on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, and on Friday. On Wednesday, we're releasing Gabriel and Angel's vlog from going to Lambeau,
nice.
Bench in Lambeau. Thursday, another show, and Friday, another show. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Peace.